He's a trick without a donkey. Dicks out from Ohio to Zimbabwe. Dicks out for Harambe. Dicks out like a cocktail from Bill Cosby. Dicks out like a primate fucking zombie. Dicks out. He's like, damn, somebody shot me. Dicks out for Harambe.
Boom, the hard stop.
I never hear that song until we're here, and it's been a month.
I know. So many people ask me about where they can get that.
Dicks out for Harambe.
It's unreleased, so start a GoFundMe, and whoever wins, maybe I'll give you the link to it. But what's up, guys? Welcome to the Deviant Gentleman podcast. My name's Shane Vitko, alongside my co-host, Mr. Uncle Tommy Vext.
Hey, guys, it's your favorite uncle. What's going on?
And it's been a minute, man. It's been about a month. Life happens to get in the way once in a while. And
yeah, you bought a house?
Yeah, man. I bought a house in Texas, and I'll be leaving the greater Los Angeles area within a month or so. So I'm looking forward to that.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, man.
Staying busy. I'm 2 songs away from being finished with the album.
All right.
So that's
and what
exciting.
are you guys planning on releasing that
Oh, we're gonna be doing a live stream performance on Patreon. So we had a meeting about it on Friday, and it's gonna come out on Black Friday, I think. And so we're gonna do like a big Bad Wolves concert and live stream concert with original songs, and then a bunch of the covers that we did that are on the Patreon. So that should be good.
So are the covers going to go on the new album also?
No, that's a separate thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So
How do you feel about the new album?
it's good.
Killing it?
Yeah, it's. I've never had this much time to work on music because of COVID. So we wrote way too much music. Like at the end of this year, I'll probably have written and recorded or worked on 46 songs. And wrote a book, and I'm like, my brain is just like, yeah. This is my salvation.
Sticking to tradition of the Deviant Gentleman podcast, we have what some would consider a controversial guest.
Indeed.
Today we have Mexican American, a gentleman who happens to be gay, right-wing conspiracy theorist,
Yes.
Mr. Edward Rami.
Hey guys, what's up? Good
What's
to see
going
you.
on? Thanks for coming down.
Thanks for having me.
We got Edward here, we've been trying to get you out here
and
since and Samantha,
yeah.
but she's in Hawaii, so
I know.
But we've been Insta friends since this whole madness started.
Yeah.
So
And you have like the best stories. Like you're really good with your soundtrack. Like every time.
that's because I'm a musician, so I DJ. I'm like ooh, like
when you put corn, like the what the fuck? Like,
oh
what the
yeah,
What the fuck? No, still the best is when you pick like clown music.
oh the clown,
It's
like
so good.
I'm a clown. Yeah.
It's just like little kids clown music playing every time. It's like a
Because it's
something
like
about Biden.
there has to be. It's like we were talking earlier. Bobby Take Naps, who's been on the show. It's like we try to keep it light.
Shout out
Yeah.
Bobby
They
Sauce.
they say that like what is it like? The left can't meme. They can't
They
because they got
can't.
no sense of humor.
No.
It's not.
That's like
Nothing's funny to
yeah,
them.
their response is no, you are
Yeah.
Right.
It's like Pee Wee
sick.
Herman.
Sick burn,
You're
dude.
like, oh, sick, bro. You're a racist. What?
So you are a gay man that is an open conservative, 100% Trump supporter.
Period. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've never really like loved Trump. I feel like in 2016 I did voted against him technically. I didn't vote for Hillary Clinton either. I voted for Gary Johnson, the libertarian, because I didn't know,
Makes
like, I
sense.
wasn't like really political, and I just
Is that the first time you would ever voted?
yeah, I think that's technically the first time. Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 24, and at the time I was 20, right?
Yeah.
That's how that works.
19, yeah. The 4-year gap. Yeah, and I mean, I wasn't really political, but I just kept hearing, Hillary was corrupt, and then obviously, like, I got really defensive over Trump making the statements about the Hispanic thing, and I didn't really look into, politics. And then it wasn't until like a few years later, and I just started to see the effects he was having, and I just started hearing about the numbers and how well the Hispanic community was doing. And then I started listening to like people on the right, and then I just got another perspective, and yeah.
So would you say in the beginning when you voted in 2016, it was mainly the media that influenced you to vote the way you did.
Yeah, 100%. And like not just mainstream media, it was like Instagram. It was like my friends, you know, like everyone would like fuck Donald Trump. Like the song was like playing again and again. You know what I mean?
So this is interesting to me because I think a lot of people had the similar experiences that we were kind of taught that Trump was Hitler,
Yeah.
right off the bat, you know, and then we've had guests on the show, and I've had friends who have had this argument that I'm sure that you've had about Trump being anti-gay, which I haven't been able to find anything that constitutes anything remotely that he's ever said or any policy he's ever held. So, you know, what do you like? What is your take? Like, what's the conversation that you have with people in surrounding that? I don't know. I guess propaganda.
What I've noticed is like the left will take one example and blow it out of proportion and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. And I feel like the one that they used the most was the military ban, because it was like the trans military, you know, ban.
Right.
And so I think that kind of like impacted the LGBT community. But it wasn't until recently, I think it was September 4th, was the newest updated policy. It's specifically targeted for people with gender dysphoria. So it's, if you're trans, like, and if you've had a transition, you can still technically like enlist into the military. You just need to fill out a waiver. But there really isn't much. Like, other than that, there isn't any like profound thing that Trump's done to like hurt the LGBT community. And I made a video about this like the other day. I don't know if you, I think actually you posted.
Five.
Yeah, the
things
5
that
reasons.
makes him pro.
And one of the biggest ones is that the LGBT community has non-discrimination protections in the workplace now. Like, you cannot be fired for the basis of your gender identity or your sexual orientation. And so that's like a huge thing. And I feel like
Nobody knows about it.
nobody knows about it. I know gay people that don't know about it.
Well, I'll tell you what I didn't know about till you posted it too, was that he elected the first gay cabinet member, and
Richard Grinnell, yeah.
And then what's the other guy?
I don't know his name at the top of my head, but he is also like a really high. He has a high position.
That's I think that's been recent too.
Yes, that's
right?
recent. Yes. Yeah.
Maybe what is it? What's the people at the airport? That NSA maybe? I think he has, huh? Yeah, TSA. I think it has something to do with national security or something.
Yeah, well, Richard Grinnell is head of national security.
Okay.
Yeah, and the other one, I can't remember right now.
Right.
We're gonna have to Google, or maybe.
But I mean,
Google it.
you know, and he's like a young-looking guy. You know, what I
Yeah.
mean? He's not old either, and it's
No.
like. Yeah, and it's not done out of pity either. It's like you have to be good at these jobs. You don't just get a pity job doing something like that.
Yeah.
You know, to
Right.
just kind of go like, oh, let me save
Unless you're in the
face.
Biden family. Like, oh, you want to run this oil company? Like,
There's
smoke
number
crack?
one.
No problem.
There's
$10
number one.
million. Don't worry about it.
If this is a drinking game, there's number one. So
Yeah.
Are we gonna be censored if we touch on Biden? Like,
No.
that was
No,
like,
we already are
We already are
anyways.
censored.
Alright,
Yeah.
We're fine.
No, but so I'm curious because what I find is that you have a lot of backing to prove that Trump is pro LGBTQ. So what is the backing where it makes it seem like Trump is this Hitler, racist, anti-gay, all this stuff? Where is the footing to stand on that argument? Because I feel like that's a big argument amongst are people just listening to their friends? Where do you think the bias comes from for these people to stand on that footing?
I feel like, again, it's just the media blowing it out of proportion. Like, for example, there was this big controversy back in June when the media claimed that Trump pulled away trans rights for healthcare, which didn't technically happen. They never had healthcare to begin with. Well, technically, like, everyone is protected we're all entitled to healthcare as long as we go as our biological sex. But the thing is, Obama tried to change the Affordable Care Act to include gender identity, so people could walk in and just say, I'm this gender and you have to treat me as so. And so they tried to make it seem like Trump pulled that right away, but the rights never existed. What he did was he just passed on the provision. And so they blew that story out of proportion. And so if you ask the LGBT left community what they know about Trump, they're gonna talk about that example, but a lot of them don't know about the LGBT rights protections, like for the workplace, which happened literally, I think it was like the same week, but totally different coverage. So when it was like, passing on the trans rights, the media like ate it up. And then when it came to the work discrimination rights, like it literally just, it was covered, but you know what I mean? Like, people don't pay attention to the positive news as much as they do like the
drama,
the negative news. Yeah.
It's almost like the media is. It's like reality TV. They've learned how to take circumstances and spin them to get everybody to emotionally react, and it's not really. That's not really journalism. It's just like creative storytelling.
I think
it's lobbying. You
Yeah,
know?
basically, because I think they've tapped into like human psychology. I think they understand that we are more likely to consume something, focus on something if we're under attack, if we feel fearful. And I think that's why they come up with these inflammatory headlines, because that's what we're most likely to pay attention to, you know. But if it's like some positive news,
engage with too, because
Read,
now
yeah.
because of online, there's an engagement. You used to watch the news, and then it would affect you how you behave in the real world. But now things that affect you, you engage with them online, and so you buy. Like it's consumerism too. It's like they create a fear market where people get reactions, and like you know, Biden was like, Americans don't panic. I'm like, I couldn't get eggs or toilet paper for 4 fucking weeks. I had to eat. I was living in Venice. I had to eat fucking duck eggs, bro. Like literally.
Are you joking?
Yeah, yo. Because I'm like, yo. I eat 4 eggs a day, and I was like, all right, I'm like, what is this? It's like
how are duck eggs?
they're $20 a carton, bro. Like
What?
Yeah, they're delicious, but it's.
Wow.
But I'm just giving you an example of
the
like,
hysteria.
I took more showers in the first month of the pandemic, like, because I had no toilet paper. I'm like, yeah, everybody is. Americans don't panic. I'm like, okay.
I went from going down to Skid Row to cop heroin looking for fucking toilet paper. Yo, anyone get that 2 for $4 special? What's going on?
Right, like the 99-cent rolls. You're like, yo, I'll give you $10 for that.
And it's ridiculous, man.
So I think that the way, so when I watch your stories on Instagram, because I think like in social media at times there's people that just whatever, you know, stimulates them. And then there's some people where like I like to watch and kind of go like when Tommy makes videos and shit, it's like I'm listening because there's facts behind it or not, but it still isn't just like don't make your argument, yeah, because haha, I said so, fuck you. Like, huh? That's what are you 11? You know what I'm saying? Like so when you break yours down and the time that you put into these and everything, and I think I'm not sure the girl's name that you're always with.
Karina? Are you talking about Karina? My friend Karina?
Yeah. And I watched some of her videos too, and it's like I like that in your videos, like in the beginning, a kind of the Floyd and George Floyd and the COVID thing was like, you know, first of all, my condolences to his family and to him, and nobody deserves to die like that. The way that happened was wrong, blah, blah, blah. Like, let's get that out of the way, and like, I'm not confused about that. However, don't turn this into a race thing. Don't let the media do this. If you look at the facts, and then you don't just go, there's facts that support this. You go, here's facts that support this, and here they are. And then you'll show the clip, or you'll show, you know, the tweet. And I think that's pretty important. And do you think that through you doing that, have people responded to that of like, oh wow, I actually didn't know that. Thank you for showing that.
Yeah, definitely. I get DMs like that all the time. And in the beginning I was really worried, and I feel like conservatives have this there's this misconception about conservatives that they're angry and like, you know, just very, I don't know,
look like me,
right? Like just angry people, but that's not the case. I feel like we're just a little frustrated at like the hysteria, and we just try to like, you know, come with the facts. But
don't you think that that's strange?
It's weird
that conservatives are considered the angry party
we're mean. They think we're mean.
But
you know,
wait, but the looting and the rioting and the murder and sorry, I'm just like it's true though. They're like, oh, conservatives are
tough and I'm like, mean and cold, and it's like no, we're not. We're just more. They're more fact-based, you know, and of course we provide our opinion, like how you said. I start off with the facts, and then I'm okay to like, you know, I'm entitled to my opinion, but I try to have like a foundation. So that's why I'll include the clips. I include, you know, everything that all of the information that I can gather. I put it together and I just give my opinion, and I'm very transparent about that. I'm like, you know what, I give a lot of my opinion, but so, you know, who doesn't? You know, you're allowed to give your opinion. Yeah. But I definitely, I think I've gotten a good response so far. I think a lot of people I really appreciate the clips, at least, or appreciate, you know, not just me, but providing some sort of evidence. And
do you think like and so for me personally, like obviously I'm already solidified in my industry, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like,
and you're killing it.
I'm just doing. Listen, I'm humble brag. Thank you, sir. I'm all right. You know, we're doing okay. The 6th single just broke top 10.
Keep going.
Anyway, but you know, so you know, a lot of you guys, like a lot of the, I view you as an independent journalist. I view a lot of these Instagram people. Maybe no one's ever told you this, but you guys are actually amateur independent journalists. You're researchers. You care about providing your audience or just people in general with information so that they're empowered. And, you know, is there room in the future moving forward for a new genre of media that is based solely off independent journalists? You know, have you ever thought about going to college for journalism or anything like that?
No, I haven't thought about going to college for journalism, and it's funny you say that because I've never considered myself like to be a journalist or anything. It wasn't until people started reposting me and sharing me, and I see like what they write about me, and they're like, oh, you know, follow Edward because he's a journalist with integrity. I'm like, what? I'm just like, you know, making videos. Like I never thought of it that way. I'm losing my train of thought here. What was your question? I was gonna.
Oh, would you go to school to become a
No.
journalist?
Before that, there was something else.
Oh, is there room for? What do you think about the future of this?
So I do believe that independent journalists could gain traction, but what's stopping and preventing it is the censorship on
tech.
Instagram. Yeah, like I feel like all the conservatives that we kind of follow, you know, the ones that we see, I think they would be much bigger if it wasn't for the shadow banning, if it wasn't for the censorship. So yeah, I do feel like.
I mean, my profile, I have 205,000 followers, right? My engagement is equal to people with around 5 to 8 million followers. So if you look at celebrities with 5 to 8 million followers, and you see the comment section, it's very similar to mine.
Yeah, I don't get how that works.
Well, they disable my follow button.
Well, you know, it's funny
Really?
too.
Yeah, you have to hit it like 10 times
And
to be able to follow me.
so
it's crazy.
I went to your page because he sent me the link of your page in my DM on my personal page. So I went to it and followed it. I went to Deviant Gentleman page because I wanted to put that you were going to be on. I went to search and put in your name over and over together, separated, and it's not even on the list.
Did I just get shadow banned?
Either that or because I did it from the Deviant Gentleman page, which may or may not be shadow banned, it wouldn't come up.
Our page is shadow banned. I can't even find the podcast, and I'm on it.
Right.
Through Instagram.
So, our podcast got copyright infringed for playing the beginning of a Bad Wolves intro in the beginning, and it's like, hey man, did you get the fucking memo? You know?
Yeah.
But
that was a fun email from my lawyer.
yeah, I bet.
Wait, so when did you search me exactly? When was it?
I think this morning.
Okay, this morning.
Yeah.
Because last night I just got another notification that I might get deleted because I posted that about COVID, and I think I literally just got shadow banned. That's why I'm asking, because I just got that notification and I haven't got one in a long time.
I mean, it was there because then I went back to my regular page and clicked on it, and like it was still there, and I was like, "This is strange." And then I just didn't have time to go because I had to take a shit and come.
Wow.
But
It's getting the clampdown is getting worse. I mean, I don't know. A lot of people don't understand why the social media companies are doing this, and the reason is from what the research that I've done and the way that it's been explained to me. Again, not a conspiracy.
What is it?
There is a vested interest in big tech removing Trump, and this is why. Trump and the conservatives want social media to be classified and categorized as utility companies. And a utility company, gas, electric, water, in the United States, there are laws that you can't have your gas shut off, your water, your electricity, your means of surviving and being alive if you're a Nazi, if you're a Black Panther, if you're, you know, a Muslim extremist, like whatever it is, like they can't discriminate you for being gay or trans or black or whatever it is. So there's a law. No person can be refused services because you can't. It's a utility company. You need businesses who don't have electricity and don't have water they can't be in business.
Yeah.
So during the Obama administration, they granted amnesty to these social platforms and Google and search engines and Yahoo and all this stuff and they gave them free reign. So basically the Democrats made a very pivotal chess move to put big tech on their side because they know that big tech has so much media influence over elections. And so big tech doesn't want to be turned into a utility company, because think about it. If you have a business, you have to have Facebook, you have to have Instagram. You can't, if you date people, you have to have social media. A lot of these dating apps go right to your Instagram.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in politics, you have to be able to have Twitter.
Yeah.
So these companies have grown so massive, and they're so ingrained in globalized social culture that you can't be relevant if you don't engage with them. So therefore they cannot exist as a privatized company. They have to be a utility. They don't want this, because then they lose political control. If
course.
everyone's allowed to say whatever they want, then it goes back to the wild, wild west internet,
Yeah.
where it's unregulated, and what goes viral is what people want. And they don't want that, because then they don't have control. So anyway, Tommy Vext.
Have you seen? Did you watch The Social Dilemma? 'Cause
I
think
did,
that touches
yeah.
on a lot of that stuff too.
Yeah, so good.
Heavy.
But
Yeah.
before we move on
Heavy.
from I think that's and it's crazy, because it's like I never looked at it like that about the
Yeah, you kind of just like
entrepreneurial.
Oh, you guys are all
a
screwed up
paradigm
now.
shift.
You're
I'm like,
well, it's
wait,
mic drop. Like,
Makes
whoa.
sense.
because it's true, because like I don't have regular cable. I refuse to watch the regular news. I don't really feed into arguments on Facebook. I literally, most of my info that I get is through Instagram. Now, some could argue, because I have friends that are, very left leaning, and we will trade off screenshots of what comes up in my feed and what comes up in their feed. They're not following DC Drano. They're not following these things. So I get it that it's going to be different. But what I know is that from watching people like you, watching people like Tommy, watching these people, that's where I'm getting my information from. So in a way, it is becoming this underground news source
It's
for people
underground.
that
It's the underground
it
railroad
almost
of
feels
info.
taboo.
It's
like,
the-
so, when you hear
it's the
the
punk,
conservative side.
it's the punk rock of fucking news outlets right
Yeah,
now. Like,
no.
you
No,
know?
it's true. I mean, like that's one thing I talked about the other day. I was like, it is so strange to me that the people who believe that they are the resistance have the same ideas and ideologies as a political party, the mainstream media,
A-list celebrities.
A-list celebrities, the Hollywood elite, big tech, and the list goes on. I mean, it's a laundry list. Yeah,
Billionaires, like,
it's just a laundry list. I'm like, you're somehow like I that's what I look at. I see people who are vehement leftists, like, and I'm not talking about anybody in the middle or left leaning. I'm talking about all the way far left.
Right.
These people who are doing things like burning down cities, robbing and looting, killing people in the name of.
But do you know why?
Touching
But
kids.
they think that they're the resistance, and I'm like, dude, you guys are the stormtroopers of the
Right.
empire. You don't realize this because you've been so emotionally manipulated. You don't realize how easily you were corrupted.
Yeah, the left is great at marketing, and they've marketed this idea that they're a part of the fight, and that's what they believe. Like, that's what the left intentionally did with BLM. Like, they made it seem like you need to stand up, like you're a part of the resistance, which really they're not, because they're just the mainstream. But it's the way they marketed it. Like, they did a really good job.
Well, I also don't think this is another thing. I think big tech colludes with that ideology to make it look like. I don't think it's mainstream anymore. I think it is. I think that this radicalism is a shrinking majority, and I think over the course of 2020, anybody that like I'm seeing anyone, so many people have turned, so many,
Yeah.
and like my attitude, my anxiety from 6 months ago about how this was going to go has severely changed. I'm currently 100% sure that the only way that Joe Biden is going to win the election is if they rig the ballots.
election.
Yeah, that's the only way.
Same, 100%.
Because there's
yeah.
no support for him.
I mean, you're 100% voting for Kamala Harris if you vote that way. Like, this guy is on death's door.
Yeah.
Or
I
a
watched-
fucking nursing
And
home.
she is a nightmare.
Yeah. Think about if you've ever been arrested and you want to make a DA the president of the United States.
True. I watched Tucker Carlson. He made a really good point. He said, like, he's just waking people up. I feel like Tucker Carlson's so good. He'll tell, he was saying, the media tries to tell you that Biden is leading in the polls, but just look around. Just open your eyes. Like, think about your, just use your common sense. Do you see any Biden rallies? Do you see people like jumping up and down for Biden? Do you see any like heavy like signs, saturated neighborhoods with sign. No, like we don't see it. We see Trump supporters like crazy. We see the big rallies. So it's like we don't need polls to tell us what's going on. Like we can see what's happening.
Yeah,
one of you
and
posted
you
the
see
thing.
There's so many conflicting things with that too. You see, like Trump's doing rallies, and there's thousands and thousands of people, right? And then and again, this goes back to COVID. You know, Sean Faust did a complete U.S. tour of church service, church protest, worship protest. The highest number, I think there were 40,000 people in D.C. They contact traced everyone. There was not one case of COVID after a month-long tour. And so I follow this stuff because obviously it affects my industry.
Of
like,
course.
dude, there's a million people laid off just sitting around, you know, who could be working. And so there is, you know, Trump's rallies, what Tucker Carlson is talking about, is poking holes in so much shit that is considered a conspiracy. This guy is doing what he's doing. Look how many people are getting behind it. Look how many people have exited the left, right? And then look how many people are congregating without consequence.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very clear that this lockdown the lockdown mentality and all this stuff has been extended. Not for, they don't care about public health.
They don't care
At all.
They don't care
At all. You know?
Before we move on, I have a quick, I guess, two-part question because I'm curious to know, have you had any backlash from straight male conservatives that say because you're gay,
No.
anything like that?
Not
Everything's
one.
been love
Not-
and welcome?
maybe I might have seen a comment like on a TikTok or something, like, but I can't even remember. Like, it's
Right.
not a thing. Like, that's the thing. Like, what's very crazy is like the LGBT left will comment and say like, why do you support this side? They don't even like you. Like, you're this. I've literally been called a faggot like 3 times, and it was always from the LGBT left. It was never from a conservative. It was literally from them. Like,
And that was the second part is that of the LGBTQ community, have there been death threats and, you know, a lot of mean-hearted things?
yeah, they're
said to you?
mean. Yeah, they're really mean. Like when I first started,
Imagine that's what it takes. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Well, dude, the thing that when the marker
Blows my
video
fucking
came
mind.
out, this is the crazy thing. The only time in my adult life, the only time I've ever been called a nigger
was when we first met.
is by a leftist. No, it's by people who were mad that I broke down Black Lives Matter.
Right.
And then once it was on World Star Hip Hop and it, you know, went viral,
yeah.
it's just like, oh, you're a nigger, you're a coon. I'm like,
Whoa.
I'm like, all right.
You're on.
Yeah.
You N-word. I'm not even gonna
Yeah.
say you N-word. You're on the side of racism. It's like
yeah, yeah.
And this was
You're-
other black people saying it to you?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like,
Imagine the
sick.
fucking...
I'm
the-
like, okay. Well, I don't, you know, and that's the thing.
Again,
like, you're
they're
just
blind. Yeah, they're blind to the racism.
when it's like people who are like white people calling other white people racist. You see what happened with Kelly Osbourne we were talking about. And
It's actually funny. Like when you see it, like you can't help but laugh. It's funny.
I mean, you want to tell the story? It's like,
Yeah,
it's
like
just
Kelly.
so great.
Well, this was actually a resurfaced video. Did you know it was actually from a while back?
Yeah, on The View, yeah.
Yeah, so she was on The View and she's asked about dang, what did they ask her exactly? Do you remember what they
Rosie Perez, they were talking about Trump's using verbiage, and it goes back to the coyote thing. We'll get back on that.
Yeah.
But because people don't understand that that's a literal term for someone who's
Smuggles.
a smuggler, a human trafficker. And so
That's
they
amazing.
were saying that that's a racist term, and then Kelly Osbourne she comes in with all her like virtual superiority
Passion.
and passion. And she's like, if you kick all the Latinos out of America, who's gonna clean your toilets, Trump?
Zoinks.
And the whole crowd just was like,
no.
oh my God. And I'm like, you talk about like, the funny thing is these terms like white privilege, who enjoys white privilege? These
Leftist liberals.
Yeah, these liberals
Yeah.
who like, I mean, look, I like Kelly Osbourne. Your dad is a legend. Her father's Ozzy Osbourne. This guy, He invented heavy metal. As far as I'm concerned, Black Sabbath invented heavy metal. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her dad, like the music that he made. And I'm like, you were born into a golden parachute so vast that your feet would never touch the ground. You got famous as a teenager on an MTV show. Your mother put you on The View. Like, you don't have to work.
Right.
You're
know?
making a good point. I think I heard one time somebody said that the reason the Hollywood elite are so into all these virtue signaling things is because they feel guilty about their life. You know, like they grew
it's
up.
a projection.
It's a projection. Like they grew up, you know, sometimes in harsh, you know, conditions, and then they got all this fame, they got all this, you know, money, and they think they have to pay it back some way, and so they just jump on whatever bandwagon. It's not that they're actually connected to whatever's going on, but they just like, I gotta donate or I gotta like do my part. You know what I mean? Like
Well, it's like this delusional ideology called that, and I've heard this term, the trauma of privilege. And so
Ooh,
I've been,
that's a good one.
yeah, Shane and I have been sober. I've been sober 11 years. I was a sober coach and a sober companion to some elite people and their children. And a lot of these people, because they are born into so much wealth, like I got these jobs because I was hood, I was street, and I don't tolerate this. So people would come in there and have me like freak out on their kids and be like, "You're gonna go like this, we'll go to rehab, get in the car, get in the van."
Tommy
and
comes
like,
in and does Scared Straight.
Yeah, like basically it was like that, but not as, you know, but
Has him combing his chest here and shit.
yeah. So, but a lot of the trauma of privilege is because these people, their entire experience of reality was through TV and the computer. So they don't actually understand what it's like to be proletariats. They are the bourgeoisie, and they're advocating for more of the bourgeoisie.
Yeah.
And they're promoting Marxism, but they're on the antithesis. They're on the enemy side of Marxism. So people need to understand that this is what's kind of being propagated by the media and by the Hollywood elite. Is the people who want to stay in power are going to mentally and emotionally try to manipulate and shame you into voting into a position that keeps them powerful. They don't want to come down. They don't want to be like the rest of us. They want to tell us how we should think and feel without consequence because they don't even know who they are.
That's I think you made a good point too. You made a post about LeBron and something that he posted like out of feeling and out of emotion, and every time, everywhere, anytime a black man walks outside, he's being hunted, and it's like, dude, that's strong words. Like I get that you're upset about what happened, but and the way you break it down of like take a moment to step back and just think about this because of how much influence you have over what you're about to post and who's going to read that. And I'm wondering, how much influence does that really take a part in? Like, do that many people look at something like that and go, because this is my hero, because this is my idol, this is how I vote now?
And still, I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, I don't want to. Like, I think I try to take the approach of not like, instead of attacking them and being like,
you're never malicious. That's what I
try
noticed.
really hard to keep that up because I feel like it's just they're ill-informed or they're running on fear. And so I just try to like I try to just be rational with them. But I feel like LeBron definitely is impacting the black community because I've had like debates with people and, they tell me they refer to LeBron and they, like literally they look up to him and everything that people like him say they take at face value because they're used to.
But LeBron James also is like getting into Malcolm X supposedly,
but he doesn't. He
obviously hasn't read any of the literature because Malcolm X is one of his biggest points has always been don't trust liberals.
That's what
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like and the other thing that a lot of people don't realize, financial literacy is such an important part of being successful that we're not taught in America. We're not taught in the public education system. We're not even in the private education system. It's almost like your family is responsible to teach you this. So, and then that whole mentality is like, you can't get successful unless you find someone successful to teach you how to be successful. Yeah. And that was my story. But when people don't know how to, so when I see someone say something, the first thing that I check is their motives. LeBron James is contracted by the NBA, but more so, he's paid by Nike. And what people don't realize is Nike is owned by China. Everything gets made there. It may be a U.S. company. I don't even think it might. I think they might have moved to Ireland for tax breaks, but whatever the case may be, you can't. It's just the same way as an actor can't say, like we were talking about this. We have friends who are conservative, who are actors, who can't be seen at a Trump rally. They can't say what they want to say because their livelihood will be destroyed because we don't have the First Amendment anymore. And so, in the same effect, LeBron James, for all intents and purposes, is a political pawn. And he doesn't want to stop making, like, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars. And like it's like I don't need another brother who's got hundreds of millions of dollars to take a knee and tell me that I'm being hunted. I fit the description. I look like I just got out of jail. I have tons of friends who are cops, tons of friends who are in the military. I know people of all races, all colors. I travel all over the world. I'm from New York City. I've lived in LA for 14 years. So it's a spit in my face because I'm, like, a lot of people don't know this about me. I'm a crack baby. My mother was a crackhead. She abandoned me, and I got adopted into a family, into an alcoholic family, into more poverty, and I still figured out how to make it in America. This is the only country where we're able to skip class systems based on the integrity of our work ethic. And I busted my ass for 20 years, and now I'm a rock star on a podcast. And that's why I have a serious problem with this ideology of self-victimization. You do not have to be a victim. You do not have to be a victim. That is a decision. And most people who choose to be victims have never truly been victimized. I've almost been killed twice, once in gang violence and once during a home invasion. And I was legally dead, and I had to be resuscitated. And once somebody else has the power of almost taking your life, you never want to be a victim ever again.
Wow, you're hitting on major points.
People are comfortable in fucking self-pityville. You know?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's always the ones that went through struggle that are like, you know, they're not the victims. Like they always have like the toughest, you know, stamina and like energy, and it's always like the privileged ones that find themselves to be victimized. Like that's a really good point you made.
And that's both our story of like, you know,
really?
like we had you know, I was strung out shooting heroin, and like I'm an ex-convict, and like on paper, I don't stand a chance. Like, what's the best I got? Maybe I'll work for a construction company and hope to be a laborer the rest of my life.
I was gonna ask.
Or why not me? Why not me? Why not you? Like, you know what I mean? Why can't I be the next journalist? Why can't I do a podcast unless I try?
So if you guys were young, right, and knowing how you grew up, if you heard LeBron's message as young kids and you took what he said, like, wouldn't that victimize you more? Wouldn't that hurt that process of, like, you know, getting out of that mindset? Don't you feel like that would kind of set you back listening to someone like him?
Yeah, I mean, I think just in general, being engulfed in the entire culture of people we're supposed to look up to, and we look up to these people because we deem them successful. And I'm not trying to take anything away. Dude, LeBron James is an impeccable athlete and with impeccable work ethic. And he is where he is because of that, right? And but my experience is that that's not in spite of his blackness. It has nothing to do with it. He's the king, James, because he's a fucking king.
He is. He's already proven it.
Yeah,
like,
because he did the work.
Yeah.
So if you have had that life experience, why would you steal those principles from your followers? I tell people on stage, I'm like, whatever it is that you do, yo, find what you love and fucking let it fuck you in the ass. Like get with it. Like, you know what I mean? Whatever the fuck it is. I know, but like, listen, life is gonna fuck you anyway. So you might as well get fucked over by something you love. Like, I love music. I've spent years of life in poverty chasing my dreams and not knowing whether it was gonna happen or not. But guess what? I got character out of it. And you can't buy character. A lot of people in LA and a lot of people in Hollywood, they want to be characters, but they don't have any character. You know?
I think about
Damn, that was deep.
it was. That's a fucking that's a t-shirt right
deep.
there.
we've been offered too long. I'm like, here we go,
Right.
boys.
And it's sad because they'll push down the ones that are spreading that message, like Kanye. Like, you know what I mean? And you posted
They
that.
suppress him, yeah.
They suppress him, or they make him out to seem like he's mentally ill, whatever. Like, they'll just cling onto that narrative, even though he's pushing a really good message. You know?
And even if he is mentally ill, what an example of a person
Even
who
more
is
so.
African
Even more
American
so.
from an urban area in Chicago who came up with nothing and had mental illness and still managed to marry the most famous chick in the world, right? I'm gonna be real nice, and you know, become an arena amphitheater sellout artist. You know, the other thing that boggles me too is if America's so racist, why is it that the rappers are the richest genre of music?
And
Like,
the
yeah.
black community, I feel, in America is the most influential community, minority
Yeah.
community. Like, they are dominating culture. Like, I grew up like on, you know, everything that has to do with black community and their culture. Like, I'm a part of it, and I feel like we all are. And yet the narrative is like that they're oppressed, or that, you know, that it's the victim, you know, mentality with them. But
that's part of a Marxist agenda.
Yeah.
there is a concerted effort to the most beautiful thing about America is what's going on right now, right? Is that a black guy and a white guy and a Hispanic guy, you know, who's with his husband and hang out, and we can sit here and we could come from completely different backgrounds in life and still sit down and be free to have a conversation about
Free to disagree.
about
Yeah,
politics,
yeah,
free to
true.
disagree, free to agree. You know, go. I don't want to lose our multiculturalism as a nation, and I feel like this Marxist agenda is basically trying to make our highlight our differences. In recovery, there's a saying. It's like we seek to see the similarities, and rather than seek
Not
to
the
see the
differences.
differences. The media and the leftist agenda is basically constituting this ideology of separatism and how they're not like us and they're like
Look
this
at the
and this.
differences.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then
that-
you go ahead.
And they hide it because the left wants diversity in skin color and trans and all this stuff, but they don't want diversity of thought. That's the
Oh, no,
thing.
no.
So they'll play the role of like, oh look, we're all different, but it's like we all have to think the same. But you know, and everyone conservatives, they don't really care. They don't really focus on this. They care about the diversity of thought, which is really funny to think about. You know.
Well, that's it. Diversity of thought and diversity of speech, diversity of
Yeah.
culture is what it's like. It makes us better. Fuck, it makes us better.
I think something too is that when people get famous or make it or have millions or have this huge following platform, there's no school that tells them to you no longer can kind of freely post like you did when you were 15 and just kids from high school followed you. Like,
Oh, no, it's
what
gonna
you
haunt you.
say is going to affect
Haunt
people
you.
now, right?
Yep.
Like, I'm the lowest scale of anything, and when my Facebook comes up of racial shit that I posted openly on my Facebook page, you know, 6 years ago, and I'm mortified, and I delete it immediately and go like, how is that how I thought, right? First of all, but even still, it's like, you know, I have a platform now where if I speak at a 12-step meeting that I attend, my goal is what am I saying to the newest person there that they go like, man, I stand a chance at this, right? So I feel like if people that had this much influence took a minute to step back and go, what I say right now, never mind what it's going to say to my friend who's the same age as me or someone I grew up with. What about the 10-year-old or 15-year-old kid that pays attention to me and has posters of me or my hats or my clothes? And how much of an impact this is going to have on him. Like when I was a kid, it was hockey. If there was social media back then, and Wayne Gretzky Wayne Gretzky posted something like that, you know, that whatever he says, this guy was God to me, dude. Like he could say, "Go eat dog shit right now; it'll make you play hockey better." I'm going in my yard and eating dog shit, right? That's how much influence these guys have. So,
Yes.
where do we start to? I mean, does it just is it being a human being? I mean, how do you learn? How do you think these people learn how do I take a step back and realize what I'm about to say right now is going to be have so much power to it, and there's no erasing it. Whether you erase it or not, 7,000 people already have screenshotted it and sent it to each other's DMs.
What you're saying is it's what always keeps people accountable is consequences, and what we have seen is the left have no consequences. Like Chelsea Handler is allowed to say, "Oh, I had to call 50 Cent and remind him that he was black and he can't vote for Trump." It's like, wait.
It's ridiculous.
Did this bitch just say like,
It's ridiculous.
I'm like, wait a second. You mean to tell me that you're so entitled? And this is the thing that pisses me off the most about like white liberals. The entitlement to tell a minority group how to think. Because we're so dumb. We can't think. Like, we don't know. I'm just sorry, massa. I'm just like,
Isn't there
dude,
a
and
group
it
like
makes
that called the KKK?
Yeah. Yeah, also started by the Democrats.
Instead of coming from
You
a
know?
place of curiosity where she's like, you know what, let me have a conversation with 50 Cent. Why don't we do like a Zoom call and so everyone, and I can ask him, what are you thinking? Why are you doing this? You know, but instead she comes with like, I know what's best for you. So I need to, you know, tell you how to think.
Leftists use a lot of psychological domestic abuse tactics on the mass, like psychological abuse tactics on the masses. That's what they do. They fucking do bad things, and then CNN stands outside of a riot that they encouraged, and that their bosses help fund, and they're like, it's mostly peaceful.
There's like
it's
a
like
fire
you
in the
beat the
back.
shit out of your wife, and you're like, well, she's not dead. The rest of us with any common sense are just sitting here like, what the fuck is going on? And then you see people like the township rebellion people being like, yeah, it is mostly peace. And then Michelle Obama's like, mostly peaceful protests. If you look up the statistics, I'm like,
It's ridiculous.
just like the Democrats haven't learned. When you say, if you just look up the statistics, it's a fact. I'm like, that's not working for you guys. Joe Biden being like, just play the tape of your website. We're like, okay. Here he is. I mean, in the same debate, he lied. He starts out the debate. We're like, oh, yeah, we're going to use fracking. And then at the end, he's like, we're definitely going to get rid of fracking. I'm like, Joe, that was only 40 minutes ago. What are you doing?
And it just slips right off
Joe.
their head. Like, they're just like, whatever. They just
Because
ignore
they have no integrity.
Yeah.
They have
No
no principles. They
Yeah.
have absolutely no intention of upholding any fucking promises that they make to anyone. And they expect smart people to go on this boat ride. It's like Noah's Ark, but the boat's on fire and the animals are all eating each other. You're like, come on, guys, it's safe. I'm like, no.
I mean, it's become the age of don't ask questions. It is not cool to ask questions. Just follow me.
Oh, yeah, you can't
follow
question
me into the
anything.
fucking fire. I swear you won't get
No
burned.
questions about COVID if you don't want your account deleted. Like literally, they'll ban you. But it's crazy. The left, they get to people through fear. I feel like when they can get you to be fearful, they can control you. Because when your fear goes up, your logic goes down. And so that's why numbers don't really matter for anybody, because they're scared. And so they're deeming themselves as a solution. So people are just blindly following because they're fearful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Well, and then it's like, I went to the VA and I needed to get some dental work done, and they won't drill unless you get a COVID test. I haven't got a COVID test this whole time.
me either.
I have no choice. My tooth hurts, so I either pretend I'm in a third world country and have someone bash it out with a hammer, or I go get this fucking COVID test so that I can get what I need done, right? And it's the same thing with, if you don't wear this mask, you cannot enter my facility. So it's like, I either need to go into the bank or I have to spend the time.
Have you done it already?
What?
Did you get the test?
Yeah. And they stuck the thing in my nose, and I'm like, I hope they're not giving me fucking Ebola or something. I hope this lady, has my best interest at heart. It's like, dude, I'm not for all that stuff, but at the same time, it's like, you know, here's these things where I'm not doing this out of fear. I'm doing this out of you've given me no choice. I have no choice but to do this and conform to your rules.
Right. When I traveled to DC, I recently went to Blexit. Everyone in there. Have you guys traveled recently?
Yeah.
I have.
And I'll tell you how I've got through that too.
Creepy. Like
Well, everything's empty.
everything's empty, and everybody's masked walking through the airports, and you hear like the speaker in the background, like make sure you maintain like your 6 feet distance and keep your masks on. It's creepy.
Please
it's like an episode of Black Mirror.
The end has arrived.
Yes, exactly. I'm like,
we
what
cannot
is going
save
on?
you. You know.
So I have a Belgian Malinois, which is pretty much like what the police use for police dogs. And when I traveled to Texas, I had him on a leash. He's a service animal. He's working. And I had a PK9, who's good supporters of this show, which is Police Canine Association. And on the back, it has K9 huge. Yeah. No mask at LAX, no mask at Houston. And people literally just probably assumed I had a training bomb dog for the NSA, and nobody gave me a fucking
I need to
hard
do
time.
that. I think I'm going to start presenting myself that way.
It was amazing.
Oh, this is a great idea.
Yeah.
Or
That's
they
all
have.
you got to do. Go to pk9association.com. Not to.
I've had people think I was
use
an
them,
air
but-
marshal before. Me and Doc, my guitar player, we were flying to
could see it.
Germany, and some lady was like, "I know you're air marshals." We're like,
She did.
We're like, what?
And you just kind of
It's like, there's no way you guys would be in first class. I'm like, that's so racist.
Racist.
Oh my god, this lady.
People are so.
I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, but that's the thing. I'm like, lady, I'm like, you know, you guys, it's very subtle.
Yeah.
It's very subtle. There's two different kinds. There's like,
That's
you
like,
know,
oh, do you have a white aunt? Did she pay for this for you? That's very kind of her.
I'm like, yeah, it's so bizarre.
So, all right, before we get out of here, so Friday and Saturday, you attended the Trump rally through Beverly Hills, through West Hollywood.
Yes.
Is that the prime? I mean, is that one route? Or is it like meet in Beverly Hills, do some shit, get in a car, drive?
Well, the Beverly Hills rally, which is every Saturday, and they're going to do it again next Saturday. So if you're listening, if you're in the LA area, please come out.
want
until
Edward-
the
you want
election.
Edward's autograph,
Trump
that's what he'll
train.
be.
So they do it every Saturday. I think it starts like at 3 p.m. But that is hosted right there in like the Beverly Hills. What is it called?
It's the Beverly Hills Park. Like, it's across the
the
street
thing-
from City
sign.
Hall. Yeah.
Like
It's the big
Rodeo-
famous sign. Yeah.
And then, so they'll meet there, they congregate, and then they I think we hang out for like a couple hours, and then they start marching like through Rodeo Drive, I believe. We go all the way around. They did it twice. So yeah, that's pretty cool, and it's been growing. The first time I went was like, I think a couple months ago for Walkaway, and since then, I was so surprised. Like, there were so many people there, so many more people.
And how was Blexit?
Blexit was
in DC.
badass. Like,
What was the turnout?
the turnout was really good. I'm not good at like guessing numbers of how many people were there, but there were a lot of people, and of course, like no mainstream media was covering it. Like Telemundo was there, but they were there.
Shout out to Telemundo.
No, they were pushing their agenda. I passed by them, and
really?
I could hear them like asking questions in Spanish, and they were basically like, why is Trump hosting something if he just had COVID? Because that was his first appearance that he did after being after being clear of it. And so they were like pushing their agenda, making people, feel bad, and just pushing their agenda or whatever. But it was cool. Yeah.
I'm curious to
See,
know.
that's the thing. You can't put somebody like me on camera and ask me that, because I'll just be like, "Oh, I have COVID too."
Good one.
They're just like, "I like
they'll literally tackle you. Some people are like,
I mean, that's like almost considered assault and battery if you do that today, if you sneeze on somebody.
not on purpose.
Yeah.
Not if it's an accident."
but
But-
the West Hollywood one.
Right. So when you went through West Hollywood and, you put posts up that was like gays for Trump and walking through and you guys yelling and everything, what was the response to that? Like, were people mean? Was there any violence of any sort towards you guys?
No.
Or
So I expected because like I said, the LGBT left is probably like the most like nasty and mean with me, but surprisingly, I feel that just the very few that were like very tipsy and drunk were kind of yelling at us, but for the most part, everybody looked a little bipartisan curious. Like they were like, like they were just like quiet staring at us, but they were quiet about it. Like they were cool. They didn't really say anything. Like they looked curious and kind of like shocked, I would say, because we had the LGBT flags. We had a drag queen with us, so I think it was just like a
Yes.
yes. No, I think they were a little shook.
shout out to Bingo Night at Hamburger Mary's.
Oh yeah.
Who is that? Is that a drag
It's
queen?
they
it's
do
like a
like drag queen
show,
bingo.
yeah.
Oh my
It's
god,
amazing.
No, but it was really cool, and it was better than I expected. Like I said, the very few that were nasty were just drunk, and they weren't even that. They were just like, whatever they were flipping off for their camera for whatever they were going to post. But for the most part, people were just watching, like a little curious.
Have you had anyone jump into the train, like as you're marching, where people go like, yeah, fuck
The
yeah,
Trump
and they
train?
jump in?
I mean, I didn't notice any. Did they? Yeah. Okay. So
It's funny that Edward said he's not good with numbers downstairs. I was like, so how many people? And he's like, I don't know. It's probably like 10 to 20,000. And his husband's like, there's about 100 people.
he's more numbers.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, 20,000 people.
It's all good. People. I did a comedy show last night, and people were like, how many there? I'm like, I don't know, probably about 60. And it was more like 25 or 30. But, you know.
It takes
I
practice.
just had to take it in real
Yeah.
quick
Yeah.
and kind of make a guess. I
No, I have
guesstimate
no
it, you
idea.
know? Well, I didn't say 600. You know, I'm not getting crazy, but, you know, come on. I'm 6 feet. I might say 6'1" once in a while. What the fuck?
Are you guys gonna go to one before election?
Yeah, I'll go next
You guys
weekend.
gotta go.
We'll
Yeah.
come with you.
Yeah,
Fuck
I'll come
it.
through next
We'll
weekend.
walk like your bodyguards walking next to you, and you can just talk hella
I got the
shit.
Proud Boys with me.
Right.
We
Yeah.
can talk hella shit.
Did you see the other thing too? Like Iran and Russia started emailing people, threatening
No.
them as the Proud Boys.
Oh.
Yeah, all the Florida voters started getting these hacked
They
emails.
made that's kind of they spread the idea that Proud Boys were like violent and vicious, right? That was part of the agenda, like that they were trying to push.
But this is the thing, like, so did we talk about this yet? The Proud Boys?
No, I don't even know what that is.
Oh, yeah.
really? Okay.
No, they're like it. Well, first of all, they're just like a patriot group of people, and the leaders are the leader of the LA chapter is African American, the black dude, and the
Cuban.
leader of Portland is Afro-Cuban.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's Afro-Latino, so
Okay.
he's mixed, and so at the first debate, they were saying denounce the Proud Boys, and I'm like,
What?
yeah, and I'm like, that's like saying denounce the G Unit. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Like what?
Yeah, like I'm like, do
Right.
they know that
Who's
these
gonna-
are not only white people? Like, what the yeah. Then you look up the Proud Boys. There's like an Asian guy, there's a Hispanic guy.
It's like what is
like,
the?
yo, they're the United Nations of patriots. They
Yeah.
like guns in America, and
They
they're
set
all
up-
different. Like,
I love the picture you guys took with the crossing the fucking Dirty Harry,
yeah.
the long
Oh,
barrel
yeah.
44.
It's actually where we had our first date. Was
Yeah.
there at that? It's
He
in
was
LA.
looking like
Oh, really?
a bad
Yeah.
motherfucker. When
Where-
I seen that, I was like, I'd marry
It's-
him too.
It's downtown LA LA
Oh,
gun
that's
club.
the LAX gun club.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's pretty badass.
Did you
there.
shoot those or just take a photo with them?
No. Well, that day I didn't. We
That's a
didn't go-
waste of time. Shoot like a 9 or something. Those
No.
are cool to take pictures with or blow
Yeah,
your
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
wrist off.
No, those were just props. Those were the
Oh,
prop
I was
ones.
gonna say.
oh,
yeah.
they were
Because that's the
Well,
kind
no,
of
no,
gun
they
too.
were-
If
yeah,
you
they were-
miss, you better fucking know karate because it's gonna take 25 minutes for that thing to come back down.
oh yeah, the recoil. on
But if you
those.
do hit, they're gonna know.
And I
It's
don't.
like a Desert Eagle too. It's like,
Yeah, it's,
boom, you're like,
dude. I went
"Oh,
to
my
the.
shoulder."
I was at the range maybe, and there was a guy in there shooting a 50, and it's so loud and aggressive for an indoor range, and it's like, hey, dude,
Oh, it was
what are you
inside.
doing? Go get a rifle or learn how to shoot like a gun that's realistic to carry. A fucking Desert Eagle is for rap videos and Instagram.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
like-
was he making a video?
No, he was fucking old. The guy was like 50 something. Bam, bam, and I'm like, bro,
He was probably
relax.
angry at his wife or something.
Stop fucking.
Oh, the dishes are done now.
That's like somebody just goes to Google and goes, "What's the highest powered handgun?" And it's like Desert Eagle 50 cal, and you're like, "Yeah, that's what I'm gonna get." And it's like, nah, man. Not realistic.
Listen, at least your ex-girlfriend's not fucking shooting pictures of you at the fucking gun range.
Yeah,
I
that's
sent-
true.
Somebody sent me that, like,
Oh, that's what she's doing. That's
oh yeah,
amazing.
because Zombie is like our big hit song, and so she just goes to the gun range and is like, I'm currently getting a restraining in the process of getting a restraining order against this woman.
think?
Oh, I
she goes
heard-
to the
I heard
gun
your
range.
stories.
Yeah, and she like shoots pictures of zombies. And then like says weird shit. I'm like, Jesus Christ, boys. I'm like, this is gonna end badly.
Yeah, restraining order coming.
Yeah, I'm like, oh god.
And I'll tell you, man, and I told we'll get out of here, and maybe I'll get into this story at another time. But if you're in a domestic abuse relationship, please reach out and please do something. My neighbor
And leave.
Yeah, my neighbor was a young Latino woman dating a young Latino guy, and they broke up. Something happened, and needless to say, he killed her and then killed himself. And this was in the apartment building,
Literally next door,
literally
yeah.
Where was this?
136 in
What city was it?
Koreatown. I heard that we were home, and like literally my fiance on the ground and me, ready to jump into action. The police were already there, and they handled it. in a timely manner. But you know, that's the kind of thing that you don't know when that's going to happen. They seem like a nice couple. There was never any issues, never yelling or anything. And next thing you know, she's dead. And he had broken in, and she decided not to press charges and not to do anything, and allowed him to come back. And 2 days later, he shot her and killed her and shot himself.
Killed
So
himself, yeah.
reach out, man. Ask for help. But we're gonna get out of here, and it's good, man. It feels good to be back in here. It's good to
it's
see your
nice. It's a
face.
Good
It's
show,
nice.
man. Like the
Yeah.
energy, the room. Like you guys
Yeah.
got a good show here.
I'm gonna miss his room.
Me too, man.
Why? What are
know.
you guys
We-
moving?
To
Well,
he's
yeah.
moving to Texas,
Oh,
so
that's
yeah.
He's not far behind. Don't want to.
Yeah. So I'm either gonna go. I'm either gonna go to Texas or Florida, but I'll fly in and then we'll like buddy up on like
Yeah.
we'll do like 10 episodes.
We'll figure it
then.
out. And
Just
for
like-
everybody that's been messaging me, like, are you and Tommy over? Is Deviant Gentleman done? It is not. Deviant Gentleman is fully alive. No matter
Yeah.
what happens, we'll still figure it out. The podcast is staying. We're staying. So
As long
don't
as
be
there
alarmed.
is injustice,
Yeah.
as long as there is
Right.
censorship,
Yeah, as long as you need
We
a
will
crime
tell the
fighters,
truth.
we're here.
Before they
Yeah.
come after you guys. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Edward, thank you, man. Thank you for taking the time and driving down. Both of you guys for coming out, and you know, we really appreciate it. And just keep doing what you're doing, dude, please, because it's very
Same, thank
informative,
you.
and I think it helps. And I think what you're doing is really helping a lot of people. So please continue to do that. Where
you.
can the people find you?
You guys can find me on just all the major platforms. You know, before I'm deleted, you can find me. I'm Edward X Rami, and then I'm on Parler as Edward Rami. And then I have a YouTube channel, and you can just search Edward Rami.
Yeah, and I'll put all the links in this episode at the bottom. So just go down and click on the links if you want to find Edward. You can find me on Instagram at Shane.Vitko. You can find Tommy at Tommy Vext, or on Instagram at Deviant Gentleman. YouTube is the Deviant, it's just Deviant Gentleman Podcast. You have to type the whole thing out. Facebook, Instagram, all the stuff. But all the links will be in the episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be safe, be good to each other. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.
It's a straight without a dog.